and getting knowledge from these topics that are we are giving to you on this channel. So now, in the process of all going working schedule and getting the wisdom, we are coming for your platform. We are with you with the BPSC 134 with this channel. So the IGNOU has a very good starting for the students wants to take the lectures by the online. So we all professors, we are ready to give you lectures. So now today our new series of lectures is regionalism. I think regionalism, you have heard about what type of regionalism has remained and what is the role of regionalism in international politics and international relations. What is the benefit? What is the main cause? What is the purpose? These are the main reasons that in international relations, regionalism has taken place. Regionalism can be with us within in a area of national level and in the area of international level. We can read it on in a national level and international level also. So we are going to start. This is regionalism, the theory or practice of coordinating social, economic, or political activities within a geographical region comprising a number of states. That is, what is regionalism? They are saying about, we are discussing about that the theory or practice of coordinating social, economic, or political activities. As we have also previously discussed that for the collective security, for the realism, for the introduction to international relations and international organizations, these all are interrelated topics because the international relations are totally based on these backgrounds. These are the backgrounds are that every country wants what type of security. That is collective security. For that they have make many and many organizations that can be regional or international also. So this is, and for the realism aspect, we have given the last lecture that has given the true picture of international politics, that has been given by the Morgenthau, Hobbes, and Machiavelli, Thucydides. These are the main aspect that the regionalism and all these topics interrelated and covered each aspects of beliefs and thoughts and ideology that is interrelated with the international relation and politics. The theory of practice of coordinating, why the countries, why the nations, why the globally every country wants to coordinate because of they coordinate for the social, economic, and political activities. Why? Because they are interrelated. They have a dependency. They have a aspect of geographical region compromising a number of states. Why? Number of states want to coordinate with each other on which background, on which grounds, that is social, economic, or political activities. These can be social, that can be business related, trade related, and companies and MNCs and all type of social and economic aspects are covered in this regionalism theory and practice. And the political activities, as we everybody are aware that all type of political activities is interrelated, is has in political activities always be read in the aspect of regionalism, because every country engage with the other country for the social, economic, and political activities. And the political activities, the coordination of political, otherwise politics aspect, helps them, give the support them to make the coordination to do accordingly as in friendly aspect and as in friendly atmosphere, and make the coordination better than before. So this is the geographical, they make a geographical reason related, who are interested in making the coordination by the ideology, by the social aspect, by the political aspect, and by many and many aspects on which ground they can make the friendship, they can make the state in a good, mannerful, and developed aspect. Because every country wants to wants to that they have to be not run in a developing aspect, they have to run in a developed mode. So with the superpowers, with the more superpowers states, and with the more economic strengthful states, they want to coordinate for their social, economic, or political, to grow and to make to grow and to give the progress of social, economic, or political activities. Next is the growth of norms, rules, and structures. Regionalism is not based on not in a imaginess. It is based on that growth of norms. There should be rules and structures. There should be counted norms according by the countries, by the nations, by the states, that they are compromising this region, this area, and they will work for each other for the coordination, for getting more and more equal distribution of interest, and the trade and the business and all type of economic aspect, they are interrelated with each other. Realignment of political identities and loyalties from the state to the region. Which type of realignment? They are asking that political identities, political personalities, political leaders, and loyalties from the state to the region, they should be behaved they should be in a mannerful and behaved by the identities in a loyal form from the state to the region. States also make a loyal behavior to the regions, that for which they want to make a structure, for which they want to make a norms, rules, and policies for making a regional organization. Otherwise, they want to work on a regional aspect. These are the main aspects, that the theory or practice of coordinating social, economic, or political activities within a geographical region comprising a number of states. There is no any states. There is not only one state will be covered. There are many of the states will be covered in this regionalism. There can be structure. They can structured by their self-interest, by the collective interest, for the collective security, for the collective protection. They can be compromised. On which type of they compromise? There are many aspects of their many interests for which they compromise with each other. The growth of norms, rules, and structure. These are the things that the growth of norms. Which type of norms? They should consider rules and structure. They should be covered with all of their interest. That should be covered in regionalism. Realignment. What type of realignment? There should be a political identity. Then, when there are political identities and they are loyal to each other states, that for that reason there should be realignment of political identities. So this is regionalism, and these are the main thing that we have to understood. I think you all are going good with this topic that we have given just now. So regionalism, successor to the nation state and alternative to globalization. That nation state and alternative to globalization. There is a universal umbrella, that is globalization. Globalization has given a true market, one market to all of the countries, all of the nation state, that they have to work each other, and they have to be in dependency with each other states, because globalization is a term that has given a market, that has given in a global sense to all of the countries, that they should enter in this door, because they forced to be, by the interest, they have to go in this door of globalization, because if they want to be developed, if they want to be progress, and if they want to do for the in interest of political ideologies. Then we can say that regionalism is not a new one concept. There is this first phase has been remained, that has remained that 1945 to 1960s. So 1945 to 1960s, if we see this phase, that what has happened, that is the Third World War has I think have been in end, and the first phase has given the 1945 to 60s. So regionalism have started this interest we can say that interest into getting opportunities for the state. The region interest in the region has started in the 1945 and to 1960s. So we can't say that there is no, before that there was no any regionalism aspect has been seen by the international, seen in the international politics and by the nation state. Regional cooperation and integration, these are the that what will be the base and platform, and what type of mentality should be covered by the nation state. That is the regional cooperation. They want a regional cooperation, each other interdependency. There is a must to be, we can say that regional cooperation and integration. Integration is what is that integration? They want integration in a global way. They want a cooperation in a global way. That is, we have seen in 1991 globalization, but we previously we have done work for this, because all of the wars, all of the struggles, all of the attacks has given the sense that nothing is to be there in a destructive mode. There should be in a structured form. Then what type of structured form they want to, that there will be an interest of regional cooperation, and there will be interest of integration. Integration gives an idea, gives a sense of that we should be integrated to each other by the states, every state, not in a regional form, but we can say in a universal form. Next is second phase of new regionalism, late 90s on. Because of there is a 1945 to 1960s, we see that there is a regionalism aspect has started when many of the organization, because we have given a lecture on national organization, international organizations. This all regionalism has given birth by the international organization. We can say regionalism has given birth to international organization. That is also can be covered, because of that international organization is based on the region base. It can be South ASEAN, it can be SAARC, it can be more and more international organization, OPEC, UNESCO, UNO. These are covered with the universal aspect, but we can say these are the international organization also. There is a main focus, main pressure is given that all the regional organization or all type of dealing, that should be based on cooperation and integration. Nothing is to be there besides that. Second is the second phase of new regionalism, late 1980s on. If we see that universalization, globalization, and many trade related aspect that has been seen in the timings of globalization, that has remained the second phase. And 1980s we have seen a new regionalism aspect, that new regionalism, new scenario we have seen, that has given birth to new regionalism, because of there is some issues, some criticism has been given, some aspects that can be covered by that. There should be a new phase will have to come, and new regionalism 1980s has started their work in the scenario of international relations. Creation and strengthening of regional trade blocs. There is what type of creativity, what type of strength they are focusing, that is on regional trade blocs, because losses of many struggles, losses and attacks on the countries has given the trade and economy has been fall down, has remained for in a very decaying mode. That has given a attack, that is giving a chance, opportunity to maintain, to manage, and to build up the regional trade blocks. Regional trade, they have to focus on regional trade, because if the regional organization, otherwise regions have, if one region can be that the region of many member, that can make a pressure, that can make a new development by the trade for getting a new progress, getting a new development in their areas. So these are areas, and these blocks can be covered by the regionalism. European Union is most advanced example of regionalism, that is political and monetary union as well as economic. As we have seen that in France, Germany, these are the countries that has remained always most advanced. Why? They have already decayed in the wars, but they have make their strength again and again. They have make their development and creation and creativity again. They have stand up in a position in a very fast mode, and we can say these are the developed countries. If we compare another countries, they have make their sense, they have make their ideology, they have make their output more and more other than countries. But in this concern, European Union is most advanced example of regionalism. In which manners? That is political and monetary union as well as economic. Monetary union, it means they are able to work as a leader for giving the help, for giving the debt, for giving the we can say grants to countries for their upliftment. So this at this time 1980s, and we can say this is a regionalism, has a new regionalism aspect can be covered, and European Union is the most advanced example of regionalism. This is the nation state and the nation state and alternative to globalization. This is 1945 to 1960s. We have seen this is the first phase of regionalism we have covered. Before that, of globalization, regional cooperation and integration, they have focused more and more for the integration, for the upliftment of regional cooperation, for the regional organizations, we can say. And new regionalism in 1980s, we have to be keep in memory that the new regionalism has come on the stage in 1980s. And what is the main focus of these 1980s 80s new regionalism? That is to strengthening the regionalist trade blocks. This is all. Next is regionalism and globalization. Regionalism, we have said that the regionalism aspect, the theory is mainly focused on the strengthening of a nation state, not a nation state, but a number of states. New regionalism since the 1980s has been seen in this era, in this scenario. Surge in economic regionalism. What has been seen there in this scenario, that every country wants to be is a part of economic aspect, economic regionalism they want, because by this by the economic aspect there what many type of political, social, cultural and traditional aspect covered within in a same time. Because when there is an economic aspect has been strong, then the regionalism, the number of states of who has been the member of this economic organization, this economic region, they make their strength for the number of in a number of sense, and in a number of states can be. Acceptance of export-led economic policies. Globalization has started, and then economic policies has been managed, structured, and every country wants to accept the economic policies. Because if in the running phase, if the countries remain in the back, that this globalization and regionalism both is to be disturbed by both will be disturbed to the country. Because he will remain in the back, and he will not come fast with the aspects, with the structured, with the policies of the regionalism and globalizations. End of Cold War and eastern expansion of the EU at the starting of globalization, and end of the Cold War. What has happened in end of the Cold War? Before that USSR in 1991 has declined, and there is only one superpower has remained, that is USA, United States of America. That is end of Cold War, because they both countries has been remain in a block. These are the two blocks. That is, first is capitalist, and the second is communist, yeah, socialist bloc. So end of Cold War is the meaning of end of USSR. We can say decline of USSR, and the Cold War has been ended. This has completed, and the eastern expansion of the EU. This is the organization, that is EU, is the eastern expansion has been started, because the USSR, the ideology of communist, the ideology of socialist ideology has been stopped, has been deleted by the USA. We can say end of the Cold War. There are many and many reasons behind that. We will cover after in any lecture. But we can say that after the end of the Cold War, the globalization in 1991, and end of the Cold War, and end of the decline of the USSR has remained the many and many causes expansion of the EU. Establishment of WTO. These are the reason that every region, that is Asia Pacific, that is Australian region, that is all regions, we can say they are going to start off their regions based organizations. That is establishment of WTO. What type of WTO? That is World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization. Why? Because globalization is mainly focused on the economic aspect, for the economic policies, for the export and import, and more for the trade and business each other of the countries, not for the upliftment of one country, one nation state. It is all about for the global. So establishment of WTO is a main landmark by which every country has to make a sense of agreement that they have to follow the terms and norms and policies which has been given by the WTO, and they have to become in front of globalization if they want to work within the umbrella of globalization. This is the main that they have to follow the WTO. Next is USA's role in regional bodies grew. What is because of end of Cold War and expansion of EU, that is USA role in regional bodies grew. Why? Because USA wants that USA has remained the one only superpower. What he wants, what he started for this work, he started that he should remain the member of regional bodies, every regional bodies, because he has the leader of the world now, and he can be helpful all of the countries because of remaining the superpower. First is remaining that he has a membership in UNO, that every type of decision by the UNO based on the yes or no on the USA. If the USA doesn't want to give the yes, that UNO will not give the yes, because in a financial mode, we can say, in an economic aspect, we can say USA gives a large amount of money to the UNO for for becoming the more and more powerful country in UNO. And this is not bad, because USA has this type of personality, USA has this type of we can say strength. Acceleration of globalization. Regionalism was reborn as a mechanism through which state could manage the effects of globalization. That is the globalization, the acceleration of globalization. This is regionalism was reborn, because before that 1945 to 60s we have seen that there is a regionalism also seen, we have seen. But this is a reborn of global by the globalization, that as a mechanism through which state could manage the effects of globalization. That is the another thing, that to manage the effects of globalization. Which type of effect? Because every country is not a mood, is not in a status that globalization can affect him their on their policies in a positive mode, that can be in a negative mode. So which country is not in a positive mode, that is to be for them the globalization has not remained a opportunity, because they are not in a condition of to face the globalization as in a standard form, because they are not in a developing, they are in a developing mode, and they are not agree to welcome all type of policies and norms of the globalized nation state which has given in a globalization. So what has happened, the many countries who have get the freedom in a circumstances that has not remained many time for their freedom. So they manage the effects of globalization by the states for the mechanism. The regionalism aspect has taken a reborn, because globalization has not remained the positive we can say positive aspect, positive benefit to total countries. Otherwise we can say that the countries who wants to work with the globalization aspect or not, every country is not getting the beneficial. Regional and global, how does the regional interact with the global? So how does the regional interact with the global? With the global means that regional, how can a regional organization, otherwise regional member nation state, how can interact with the global? Because they are interacting with their regional outlook, they are interacting between each other, the regional atmosphere, regional outlook. So this is that how regional and global interact with the global. Are regional trade blocks building blocks or stumbling blocks? Idea of region as a fortress, essentially protectionist. However, there have been competitive impulsive too, not turned back on global market. There is that regional trade blocks, these are the building blocks, and we can say stumbling blocks, because regional trade blocks has remained the building blocks. They have make their region as an building blocks for getting the upliftment, getting the development, otherwise progress in their own sense for the regional trade. They doesn't want to interact with the global. However, there have been competitive impulsive too, because of they have to make a competition in a global market, because if there is no global market, they are going to make a competition, they have to remain in the back, because what will they have to face? They will not covered in a global sense, and their production, their output, their companies, and their all type of mechanism is not considered in a global market. So they have to come on, they have to be stand up in a position of global market. Besides, they doesn't want or not want, more than we can say that they have to enter in the global market, because their interaction with in regional aspect will not be covered for their positiveness. regionalism cooperation amongst sovereign state, transfer of authority from states to central bodies, arrange intergovernmentalism, supranationalism. These are the words that what they want to say. Regionalism cooperation amongst sovereign state, all regions, that is based on the region ideology, that is all cooperate the sovereign state. Why? Because of transfer of authority from state to central bodies range. That is term is here intergovernmentalism and supranationalism. Because of there is a superpower, and the region will be not too much strong form in front of intergovernmentalism and supranationalism. This is supranationalism. Intergovernmentalism is a term that should be treated as in the central bodies as like superpowers in the economic term, in the political term, and in the social term. Social term, these are the transfer authority can be seen in a central bodies range. So regionalism cooperation amongst sovereign state. What is the scene can be what type of a scene can be seen? Picture can be seen there, that is a intergovernmentalism, and supranationalism can be seen because of sovereign states has entered in a regionalism aspect. Intergovernmentalism, the term we have already seen in this, that interaction among states which take place on the basis of sovereign independence. What type? What will be the meaning of intergovernmentalism? That is interaction among states which take place on the basis of sovereign independence. What type of interaction? These are the states which take place in the basis sovereign independence, that they want interaction a sovereign as in sovereign for they want a place on the basis of independence. Treaties and alliances, they may what they do for that, they for getting the intergovernmentalism, they enter in the government of another countries, another state who has become in a member of region. What they do for the superpowers, otherwise we can say the main sovereign bodies, what they do a treaty and alliances with the we can say the states who are the member of region. Often bilateral agreements, mostly the what is the main base of their agreements, that is bilateral. Leagues of confederations, League of Nations, OPEC, OECD. These are the, I think you have seen, these are the OPEC, OECD, League of Nations, mostly based on the economic organization, economic region. They have covered the economic region for the upliftment. These are league. What type of league and what type of bilateral agreements? This is League of Confederation, League of Nations, and that is the organization, regional organization we can say. These are the OPEC and OECD. State sovereignty is preserved through unanimous decision making and the veto. State sovereignty is preserved. What here is to be seen that by the superpowers, by the state sovereign masters, and by the global masters, many decision making agreement is disturbed by the state sovereign persons, state sovereign bodies, and by the veto. Supranationalism. This is the existence of an authority that is higher than that of the nation state and capable of imposing its will on it. This is a good thing, that here existence of an authority that is higher than that of nation state. Supranationalism, what they want to, that they want to make a super aspect, that we are super than you. They have make this sense, the existence of an authority, the existence of a sovereign bodies upon the authorities. They make a sense, they make it, they reflect their personalities, their leadership, that they are higher than of the nation state and capable of imposing its will on it. They are capable, that they make the decision and you have to follow that. The authority will, the member of the region, the member of the nation state will follow. They have, if they impose any type of decision, any type of will, any type of system management on them. Transfers sovereignty from states to international or regional organization. That is supranationalism. What is the mentality? What is the method? What will be the theory of supranationalism? Is that transfer sovereignty from states to international or regional organization. This is that the strengthness of the states, what they do, they transfer in a international or regional organization. They can do this because of the regional organization can become international organization by the sovereignty, by the strengthness of the superpowers bodies. Seen as a part of general integrative trend within global politics. There is that global politics is to be seen here, that because of the sovereign bodies shared or pooled, because in a financial term we can say they have to remain the sovereign part, because they shared their financial aspect for the general integrative trend and within the global politics. Criticized by the realists such as a threat to sovereignty, national identity, and democracy, seeds of world government. What type of criticism is has been seen here? That criticism by the realist, that they, as a threat to sovereignty. What type of threat? That these are the terms which has been supranationalism is to be seen here. They are the national identity and democracy. What they threat to there is a threat to sovereignty, their national identity, and their democracy. Seeds of world government can be seen here. Seeds of world government, that is, they want to make the origin by their sovereignty and by their national identity and by their democracy. They can grow their government by their activities. Introduction, contextualize new regionalism. That is, we have seen that in 1980s the new regionalism has taken place. Elaborate on the theoretical and conceptual framework that informs so-called new regionalism. New regionalism is here. Perspectives as in post-Fordism, flexible specialization, new institutionalism, and new institutional thickness. New regionalism, what is the main reason that new regionalism has taken place? That is, elaborate on the theoretical in a theoretical aspect, in a theory base, the concept of new regionalism should be framed as in new regionalism, because in a theoretical and conceptual framework we can say that there was no regionalism aspect. It has a form in a region ways, it has a form in a regionalism by the member state, but new regionalism has given in a theoretical and conceptual framework that should be called as a new regionalism perspective. Discuss alternative models of competitiveness. In this new regionalism, what will be done? It should be done that what type of competitiveness should be avoided, what type of competitiveness we can say competition, what type of competition should be worked, should be understood by the models, by the states for getting alternate political strategies and reactions. In new regionalism, that new regionalism perspective, that is in a theoretical conceptual framework, that is political strategies and reactions should be covered, because of if the flexible specialization wants in a new institutionals, for this political strategies and reactions should be compared, and there should remain a competitiveness, there should be remain a competition between each other, the nation state, and by the and between the superpowers and super strengthful bodies also. A sympathetic critique, what type of critique? That should be based on coordination, sympathetic, traditional values. This critique should be covered. This terms. Concluding remarks. That is that new regionalism should be in a form of that theory can cover the concluding remarks and the concluding remarks and presentations also. Contest post Fordism, that is new conceptualization of regions, that already which type of regions can be seen in a regionalism sense. It has taken a new form in a conceptual form, that is covered in conceptualization of regions. What they want, that theories and framework should be covered in a conceptual form, and the regions has to be followed, and a nation state has to be understood, all type of terms and policies and strategies that should be covered in this conceptualization. Proactive subjects is should be covered, political actors should be covered, that is what type of political actors should be conceptualized by the regions, by the nation state. Sides of political and economic activities, every type of in the context of post Fordism, sides of political and economic activities that should be covered, the political and economic activity equally. New forms of governance, denationalization, hollowing out of the state. A new governance, that which type of governance is new forms of governance should be considered for the denationalization and hollowing out of the state. Hollowing out, that the governance will cover the new form that should cover all these things. That is contest post Fordism. Small is beautiful. And second industrial divide, Pierre and Saville, 1984. That is flexible specialization, labor force, polyvalent and adaptable responses, new competition strategy, pressures on marginal unit, cost of our production associated with the economics, the scale of third Italy. Small is beautiful. Introduction: productivity gains within microeconomic environments. That is, small is beautiful. Policy initiatives, that is, that territorial clusters, porters, according to that all type of international conceptual form, the post-Fordism. New conceptualization of regions can be covered in the post-Fordism, and proactive subjects in a region formed, political actors in a region formed, sides of political and economic activities should be covered. New forms of governance, that is, new forms. What type of new forms? That the governance can have the power to make the decisions that that country should be covered in a denationalization and hollowing out of the state. Sides of political and economic activities, that is, hollowing and denationalization should be covered there. New regionalism is there, that we are also recovering repeating this new regionalism aspect, that is, elaborate on the theoretical and conceptual framework that informs so-called new regionalism perspective, that is post-Fordism, flexible specialization, new institutionalism, and institutional thickness. Discuss alternative models of competitiveness. That what type of new regionalism want? Discuss alternative models of competitiveness. That is, all type of competition based activities should be covered, that in a model, in a regional way, and alternative models should be covered there. Political strategies and reactions, that is, political strategies and reactions should be covered, that any type of reaction that we can say that countries interrelated with each other, and what type of behavior is counted there and what type of behavior they are doing, that is political strategies and reactions. We can say that in international relation, in international politics, that Markantha was also has given that every type of regionalism, every type of region wants a security. What type of security? That is, they want a security of that they are not capable to face the attack of any superpower, any strong country. For that, they make an agreement with each other, the countries, with the member nation state, and they became agree for that if any country will forcefully, otherwise any indirectly wants to disturb their peace, the countries that has become the region, that has become the organization, they have the same interest, they have the same ideology, and they have the same aspect of keep peacemaking theories. They will be with each other at the time of attack, otherwise any incompetency of any country. For this, the UNO and all the SAARC and ASEAN and NATO, these are the organizations that we can say these are the organizations are doing better for this. But if in a real sense we see that the main countries, that is main countries that we can say NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, that is, all of the organization can be seen according to that there is a supranationalism is covered here. That why supranationalism concept has been covered in the international relations and international politics, because according to Morgenthau, the every country, the real politics, we can say the real politic, politik, we can say according to Morgenthau, that every country wants the power. And for this power, the supranationalism aspect, a new form of supranationalism as an for getting the power has been emerged. Why emerged? Because every country wants the power. I have already covered in the last lecture, that is Hobbes, Thucydides, and all are the they have given the theories that the picture of the person, that is everybody is selfish and they all are they want their progress, not another person. So there is a picture in a scenario of global way that we can say that every country, every nation states wants power. For this, the regional aspect, and if we come in the aspect of this, the present way, that the end of cold war has given a superpower, has given a birth to the superpower and given a birth to the strong economic countries, that is the Japan, the China, and the USA, and more and more. So these are the main superpower that has given a block level competition. And this is also, we can say, this is also this is also a competition for the supranationalism, because every country wants to make a superpower, and and their presence in all type of discussion, as an UNO, as an WTO, as an all organization. There should be regional organization also. So this is the main thing. The supranationalism has been covered. Intergovernmentalism, we have also we are now repeating again, that is intergovernmentalism. Interaction among states which take place on the basis of sovereign independence. We have also given there in a brief way. Now we are discussing about that the states who are sovereign states, they want that they should enter in the government of nation state, who is in a region form, in a regional organization form, and they want that they also make the treaties and alliances, bilateral agreement, League of Confederation, League of Nations. These are the organizations they want to enter in their government, in their structure of government. For this, they have made this in regional organization, we can say, that is OPEC, Organization of Petroleum European countries. This OPEC has a very important organization, that is that what they want, that they want to enter in this intergovernmentalism organization also, because if they enter in this type of organization, they have to be the powerful strengthful state, just like as in a member of OPEC. So this is OPEC and OECD. These are the intergovernmentalism method of superpowers to enter in the organization, regional organization, we can say. That is, state sovereignty is preserved through unanimous decision making and the veto. Because of, we have seen, there is a veto power of veto power has USA has the veto of the superpower, that is that he can deny if he is not agreed in the if he is not in the favor of any country, that he can take the veto on the decision of UNO's platform. So many times it has seen that the superpowers who is more powerful and strengthful country for the UNO, they also make this veto power for denying any decision that can disturb to their sovereignty. Regionalism and cooperation amongst sovereign state. what should be seen here, that cooperation, which type of cooperation the sovereign state wants. They want the sovereign state that if the regionalism, if the regional output, if the regional interest should be created for their benefit, for their upliftment. So they, what they do for that, transfer of authority from states to central bodies, range intergovernmentalism and supranationalism. For this cooperation, why they have made this cooperation, that this cooperation they want to enter the intergovernment of regional organization, and they want a supranationalism. What type of supranationalism? That they make their personality as a leader of that. There is only one leader is in the world level, in a global level. That is sense they have created, that there is they want a supranationalism outlook for the regional organization, otherwise for the regional aspect. Regional and global, how does the regional interact with the global? By the globalization, this interaction has become easy, has been positive, because of the regional trade blocks, building blocks or stumbling blocks. What they do, that they make the blocks for the regional level, for the regional standard. They make the building, they make the blocks for making a regional organization. Idea of region as a fortress, essentially a protectionist. However, there have been competitive impulsive to not turn back on a global market because of regional organization. If they are not competitive impulsive, if they are not a competitive positiveness, they have to back on the global market. They have to be back in the global market, because there is a building blocks. They want that regional interaction with the global aspect can be covered. Now this is a repetition that new regional is since the 1980s. We can say since the 1980s we have seen the new regionalism. Why? There is a background, there is a scenario has been seen that there is two superpowers, and the new upcoming countries are going to free in this scenario, and more countries, just like we can say in 1947 and after the main African countries, we can say they all are becoming as in part as a member of new, becoming new organization, because they doesn't want to be member of USA and USSR, because of they doesn't want to be a part of ideology of their, that is capitalist ideology and socialist ideology. So besides that, they have created a new region, that is in 1980s it had been seen, but in the form of, we can say that it is a real picture, the new regionalism, and the USA has making a disturbing point, and USSR also, because if one country, if a new free country by the colonial aspect, they they doesn't want to be the member of both ideologies, but they have to force to become the member, because of if he will not be a part of the ideologies, he will not be served by no one superpower, because of he wants to serve, he has many and many opportunities he has to gain by the superpowers, that is USA and USSR also. If the countries believes the ideologies of USSR, they enter in the ideology of USSR, and they are benefited by the policies, by the grant, by the help of many times by the socialist ideology. But in the sense of this, as a member of region, it is really helpful for them that end of Cold War and eastern expansion of the EU has helped the regionalism more and more effective. So this is for the now. This is the timings is we're going to cover. We will be with you within a next chapter within a new topic. Now please remain enjoying this topic within the BPSC 134. This is regionalism and globalization.